Hello and welcome to the Capitol Report on NTD Television. I'm Steve Lance. New updates on former President Trump's legal challenges. He and his aide Walt Nauta pleading not guilty to new charges in the classified documents case. Trump's Mar-a-Lago property manager also facing charges in this updated indictment. NTD's Melina Wisecup joins us with the details. So Melina, tell us more about these new charges.
So these charges relate to Mar-a-Lago security footage. Special counsel Jack Smith alleges that not only Trump, but his aide Walt Nauta and his property manager at Mar-a-Lago, Carlos de Oliveira, schemed to delete security footage at Mar-a-Lago that federal prosecutors had sought in their investigation into the classified documents case. But Carlos de Oliveira has not yet had the chance to enter that plea deal because his arraignment has been delayed due to a local level holdup. So that's in Florida, but here in D.C., Trump's attorneys are expected to be here tomorrow to meet with special counsel Jack Smith in a hearing over proposed restrictions over what Trump is allowed to talk about in that 2020 election case. Jack Smith is pushing for a speedy trial here. Today, he proposed a January 2nd start date for that trial. Trump is next set to appear here in D.C. on August 28th, which is around the same time that we are expecting to see some new charges brought against Trump from Georgia.
And Melina, Trump will likely face a fourth indictment in the state of Georgia in the coming days, possibly next week. What kind of charges is the Fulton County District Attorney looking at?
The charges in that Georgia case are expected to be broad. The district attorney could charge 12 or more indictments against multiple people. She's looking at racketeering charges, which would allow her to charge multiple people who she claims were involved in election interference. The crux of the question here is whether Trump pressured local election officials to keep him in power, to keep him in the White House. One big question here is that hyped up phone call that Trump had with the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, where he was discussing his concerns of election fraud, asking if they would be able to find around 11,000 votes, which is the margin that Trump had lost by. So we could see those indictments coming forward as soon as next week. Fani Willis, which is the district attorney, says that she promises to press charges no later than September 1st. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Melina Wisecup, NTD News.
NTD's Melina Wisecup, thank you for that report, Melina. And special counsel Jack Smith admitting to a second error in a case against Trump. In investigating the 2020 election aftermath, Smith sought and was granted a warrant to search Trump's X account, formerly known as Twitter, in order to block Trump from learning about it. Smith's reasoning for the non-disclosure order was that Trump might destroy evidence, change behavior, or flee prosecution. Later, Smith's team admitted they erroneously included flight from prosecution in their request. An appeals court upheld the non-disclosure order after the error was revealed. And now to the 2020 election, former President Trump refusing to sign the Republican National Committee's loyalty pledge to support the GOP's eventual presidential nominee. And a new ad backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is targeting his biggest rival. NTD's Sam Wong has the story.
On Wednesday, former President Trump targeted the Republican National Committee, saying that he won't sign the loyalty pledge to support the future nominee.
So they want you to sign a pledge, but I can name 3 or 4 people that I wouldn't support for president. So right there's a problem.
The Republican frontrunner did not specify whom he wouldn't support, but he did say that entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy and Senator Tim Scott have been, quote, very nice to him. The statement comes ahead of the first RNC primary debate kicking off in Wisconsin later this month, which requires all candidates to sign the pledge. Trump told Newsmax that he will decide next week whether or not to attend the debate. Meanwhile, a super PAC called Never Back Down launched 2 new campaign ads backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The commercials highlighted Trump's clashes with the governor of Iowa and New Hampshire, suggesting that the former president is dividing the Republican Party.
When I spoke to Kim, I said, wow, you want to remain neutral? I said, that's strange. Without me, you know she was not going to win. You know that, right?
Trump, he's all about himself.
Never Back Down has reportedly spent almost $17 million so far on ads in the GOP presidential primary. Sam Wong, NTD News.
Is our economy moving in the right direction? The latest data showing that U.S. inflation has gradually came to a soft landing, but there's still much more work ahead. Here's more.
As of July, consumer prices overall in the U.S. climbed 3.2% from a year ago, a little lower than what economists expected. That number marks a slight uptick from the annual rise recorded in June. Among all factors, the cost of housing contributed the most. And here's some good news for average households. Prices on a wide range of products and services have begun to cool off. That includes used cars, household furnishings, electricity, and airline fares. Gas prices, on the other hand, are beginning to pick back up again. Sam Burns, the chief strategist of Mill Street Research, told NTD's Dang Ma that there will likely be a rebound in gas and energy prices.
I think, the general trend for oil prices is probably still going to be kind of in a range. So my guess is that it won't be a persistent trend, but it will be a rebound in the next month or two.
The small edge up in July is significantly less than the 9.1% spike reported last summer, which broke a 40-year record for annual inflation. With that being said, the current rate is still higher than the Federal Reserve's 2% target. In the past 18 months, the central bank has been trying to tackle inflation by rapidly raising the interest rate from 0 all the way up to 5.5%. The next Fed meeting will be held in September. Some economists said that the interest rate will continue to rise since inflation remains a major concern. But many others predict that the central bank will hold rates steady until the middle of next year.
And now turning our attention to the country of Iran. The country is transferring 4 American hostages from prison to house arrest. This comes after a month-long negotiation by the Biden administration to have them released. In exchange, Iran expects 5 of its own prisoners to be released in $6 to $7 billion. The money is from oil sales and is currently frozen in South Korea as a result of sanctions. 3 of the hostages have been identified as Iranian Americans who were detained and sentenced over the past several years. One of them also has British citizenship. U.S.-based lawyer Jared Genzer represents one of them. The lawyer said in a statement today that he expects the 4 prisoners will be held at a hotel under guard by Iranian officials under house arrest. The White House said in a statement that the Biden administration will continue to fight for their eventual release back to the United States. Thank you for watching the Capitol Report. If you want to see our full broadcast, check us out at epochtv.com.